Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Morera, along with
Anthony Sinandris.
Yes, I played that song. It's actually called Adrenalize by In This Moment. I'm very pumped. This episode of Gotham made me very pumped. So, and don't worry everyone, we'll play the original 90s animated Batman opening as our ending to kind of just play us out when the time comes in the hour. But as of right now, yeah, I really like that episode a lot more than I thought I would.
Same here, actually.
Yeah, and of course, if you guys don't know, hey, we're doing Gotham. Also, if you want to talk to us about Gotham, we only have an hour, but of course we'll take callers. If you guys want to talk about what you like the most in the episode, call us. Number is 718-664-9468. Again, the number being 718-664-9468. I'm very sick. I'm very sorry that I sound like Oswald Cobblepot. I'm very sick, but I'm still standing, which is nice. And I haven't been shot in the head fakely and then drowned. Well, almost, which is, nice. That didn't happen. But anyway, so yeah, you can call in. Also, you can use our number, 718-664-9468, not just to call in, but to listen in. So if you have to get off your computer now because of an annoying sibling or anything else, you can easily transfer and just call us. And if you don't press 1, we won't see that notification that says, oh, they want to talk. So you'll be left on just to listen. And, if you do want to talk, you could press 1, and then we'll put you in and talk about your favorite part of the episode, and we can easily put you back in the listening section, and, you can just go on listening to our show. So, yeah. So, Anthony, what did you like about this episode the most?
I don't really know how to pick one thing, but I will
there was
say
a lot of good stuff.
I love the episode overall, don't get me wrong, but I think what really made the show perfect for me was honestly the cast. I think that every character, in my opinion, was cast perfectly. The actor that actually really surprised me, and it's going to sound weird, but it's actually the kid, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, that is playing Bruce Wayne. I thought he did a great job as young Bruce Wayne. Especially there was one line in particular towards the very end of the episode when he meets with Gordon. When Gordon tells him we caught, the wrong guy, we arrested the wrong guy, he was framed, and Bruce said, good, I want to see him again. I was like, oh, okay.
Then what did you like the least then?
It's going to sound like the oddest thing to say, but I think they went a bit too heavy on the Easter eggs. Because I feel like literally every minute of the episode it was like, okay, Penguin, well, Penguin, easy, Penguin. It's just one example.
Okay, too many penguins, but I think there were 3 maybe. Maybe there should have just been 2. But the thing is, I'll say this much though. Here it's weird because I don't think they needed to say penguin. I think just by I believe he called him Cobblepot, right? Or was it Oswald? Sorry.
Someone called him Oswald. Someone called him Mr. Cobblepot.
Right. But the first time when I heard it, because here's the thing I like a lot about these cameos.
The first time he's called Cobblepot.
Oh, okay, because I freaked out. Because the thing is some of these, like with Edward Nygma, right? Of course they didn't call him the Riddler because, that's a bit too much. But, what's really nice is the fact that it's just, stop it with your riddles. Right? But then, with Cobblepot, the thing about, the Penguin, Oswald, Cobblepot, and everything, is just the fact that it's just like, it's just, take the bat. Come on, take a whack, Cobblepot. Just me sitting there just watching this. Oh, my, because I have to admit, I didn't expect some people just being thrown in like that.
I think the worst one for me was honestly Ivy.
Ivy was particularly the worst, but at the same time, she would pick her own name to be Ivy because of her love of plants.
That is true.
Yes. It's just weird because I think it's just so weird that we get a look into their lives in a way where I'm not saying Gordon's going to write everyone's name down, but it feels like the idea of just like, Gordon just going, so I let Penguin, one day going, I let Penguin live. I mean, Batman might be fine with it, but there are some implications there.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, it's weird in some cases where, again, I know he doesn't know there are a lot of people that you've probably met that one day will be famous, and you'll forget about them. Because you just met them in passing, you know what I mean? Maybe they were a big part of your life for a bit, but, you're not, connected to them as much anymore. So, look, I understand that. But some of these, I will admit, are a bit too much to kind of weave into the whole everything.
Exactly.
Yes. Also, I'm going to bitch about their ages. Not right this second, but I'm going to get there. Because, I mean, some of them look, it's weird, where it's like Riddler, Hopefully he's as young as he looks because I don't want him to be too old. Penguin should actually be older, in my opinion. Like, it's weird where it's like in a flashback. I know this whole series is supposed to be a flashback, but in a flashback I see him that way. But like, it's just weird that, you know, in, I don't know, I guess 20 years, so I guess it's okay if he's like also another like guy who's like in his like, I say teens as in like 18, 19, so I understand. It's just weird to see him that way in the sense that, like, even Bullock in a way, where Bullock was nice, but for some reason it's like they just tried to say, yeah, no one in here is ever heavy. Everyone's pretty.
Yeah.
You know, and I know eventually it's just, oh, they'll get heavy with age or whatever. But even, like, I don't know, it's just very interesting. Where, again, I understand that Cobblepot, let's say, when he was younger was the skinny, frail, you know, boy. But he isn't 12. That's the thing, too. It's like they wanted to go for this look of, they could be 12, but of course they're not because the actor playing them is, like, 27. But they look like they could be 12 because a lot of pretty men, basically, where with, you know, with Cobblepot and, like, a pretty sort of, you do look like like the Penguin very well, like, you know, and how he looked, and even with Nigma, where it was very, 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 like, you could have literally just walked right out of high school. You know, like you graduate, you know, it's like, oh, I just graduated from the academy of et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, we don't want to know your age. Like, you know, it's like Bullock says that, you're like, actually, Bullock, I agree. I don't want my dreams to be shattered. Because I hate to say this, again, I'm gonna sound like a huge comic book, you know, person, the one who's just always picking and whatever. But I have to bring it up because in this episode, you know, a lot of people's ages, like, it feels like because of some of their ages, you know, Batman's going to be like, you know, all right, I'm going to fight you, 90-year-old villain. You know? And it's especially with Falcone.
Oh, yeah.
That's the really big one, where I was like, he better have a son.
Yeah, that one I will agree with, because that was pretty old for Falcone, especially considering where they want to end up with him. Yeah.
But anyway, but no, when I said what do you like the least, I meant as a character. Like, what character didn't resonate with you or something?
Oh, okay. Oddly enough, she's not really a main character, but Gordon's fiancé.
Really? Because, honestly, for me, it's Alfred.
Okay, well, him too. But I don't know. I mean, I can kind of get Alfred, if only because I don't remember if we discussed this. I don't know if you've read Batman Earth 1, have you?
Okay, yes, he's very Batman Earth 1, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, I can see it. But Gordon's fiancée, something about her just seems off to me. I'm not sure if it's the actress or if she's supposed to be acting that way and there's going to be some kind of revelation down the series road.
I don't know, maybe
the character was just off for me.
I think it's just because we've never really seen her. I mean, personally, I have no opinion of her. So I have to be, you know, it's the reason I think why some people might not be latching on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so much, where you have to make these characters for people. So they have no opinion of them. So for her, especially, she has to be a character who's made up, and she's in the background. That's very hard for her.
I mean, the most we've seen of her, I think, is in Batman Year One. And even there, it's not a lot that we see. We see her, as you said, a background character. But the impression in that book given off is that she's a very caring woman. Like, she's just very like, oh, my husband, this, and that. She's kind of like, I don't want to be stereotypical, but like a housewife almost. Where in this,
we got that though. The only thing that we got though is more. We got it more as a strength, kind of, where it's like, no, I believe in him, but it's still pretty much there.
Absolutely, but the problem, the one scene in particular, is when Montoya goes up to the I guess apartment or whatever to meet with her, and she's like, does he really know you like I know you? I'm like, are we going to go on some kind of secret history trail here? Because that seems a bit odd for this character.
I don't want to immediately become sexual, but I assumed it was some kind of weird, like, lesbian thing. I know it sounds silly, but, like, I know, like, when it comes to shows nowadays, they don't really, you know, they have no fear with going into what used to be a huge taboo, which was just, like, you know, like, oh, like, especially, I don't know, maybe, like, hey, maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong here, and I'm sorry if I am, I don't want to, like, jump to anything, but it's not even sexual so much it is a relationship between the two, because she really kind of gave off this, like, the way I know you.
No, I thought of that as well. I'm just saying, like, if it is possible, some kind of secret character history, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, yeah, no, that would be really dumb, where it's like, she's hush. What? She's kept the secret. She's hush. And don't let her reveal the secret, because then she's spoiler. Listen, you guys really had me here. And then you just did I don't understand what. She's Batgirl. Listen, this doesn't even fucking exist yet.
Like, she's Captain Marvel.
She's Captain Marvel. Can we just stop? She's Wonder Woman. All right, that's it. I'm done. I got to be honest. I know we're jumping around here, but being completely honest, when Cobblepot came out of the water, I was extremely hoping for just where am I? Star City. You know?
Yeah.
Just something like that. Obviously, it's really hard to do something like that, but I got to be honest. They can try.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be anything major, of course, because, again, it's still in the past, so. Oh, by the way, I'm a big fan of how they did, in my opinion, a splendid job, other than one line, a splendid job of trying to say, hey, listen, our timeline is very ambiguous here. You don't know what year we're in.
Yeah, I felt the
same
way, actually. What line was it for you, by the way?
Oh, the only line was when Bullock said, his phone must be out of juice.
I knew you were going to say that, too.
Of course. The only line where it's like, damn. But other than that, because it's really nice, because, you can, other than that one line, you can really take it to be like, it's, even though, of course, there's a lot of brands and cars, I'm sure, that are like, that came out, that's a certain, X year here, where it's like, that clearly didn't happen in the 1920s. But most of this, there will also be and of course the highlights and certain things are like, yeah, this is more modern, but still, something about the feel of it all could have been set in the 1920s. And, yeah, it was just very, very nicely done, I feel. And I don't know, it's just a weird thing, because, I'm just happy they didn't try to go for the, but look, I mean, maybe they will in the future, but in this episode I like they didn't go, look, he's on a cell phone, see, he's making calls. No, it was just standard detective work, It didn't involve, even when, when Gordon's girlfriend, now she's she's not a wife yet, his girlfriend was like, I've been trying to call him. It wasn't like she was picking up some new phone or a cordless phone or a cell phone. She just said, hey, I've been trying to call him. So your imagination can go anywhere. And I really enjoyed that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. But so you mentioned that you agreed with me on the Alfred thing. Why do you feel that way?
Here's the thing. If they would have said, if this is supposed to be an Earth 1 vibe in general, they've nailed it. But as far as we know, this is just supposed to be a Batman story, not specific to one universe or the other. So he did feel a bit cold, in my opinion. The Alfred that I was kind of expecting would have been more along the lines of the Nolan verse with Michael Caine's Alfred.
Yeah.
I was expecting. This one, it was just kind of, I laughed like hell when he storms out of the house and tells him to get his ass off the roof. I thought that was funny as hell. But then,
I don't know.
When he's
that's the thing. I thought it was, when you said he was cold, I thought he was more fiery, his temper. Someone said before I saw the episode, he's very sassy. And I was just like, come on, sassy, really? And I watched it, I thought, damn, he's a little bit too sassy. Where, the Alfred that I know, his jokes are a lot more witty. Right? A lot more subdued, a lot more under the radar. With this, it just, another thing too, and it's funny because, again, I know he's younger, and I do feel which is obviously something that they did, purposely, he will one day become the Alfred that we know. It feels that way. But at the same time, though, I think it's even his accent, right? Something seems like the way just yesterday, we're just all right, we found a beggar in London.
Yeah.
He just, and it sucks because, even the way Alfred has always talked about himself, it's just he's such a great actor and he can really blend in. But at this point, he just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And it's weird because other than that, and I don't know why that's just the one. Where that's just the one where maybe they were trying to go for that older feel when, he used to drive the Batmobile. Maybe they're trying to look for that kind of feeling in Alfred. And maybe that's why it doesn't really resonate well with us because, with other people we can see where they're going, but with Alfred it's just, to us anyway, it feels like one day he's just going to sit there and just be like, oi, I'm a dick face, and immediately just change his whole outlook on everything. Which is hard, but everyone else seems like you can tell where they're going. We're even, what, for Riddler, it's but Riddler has to go crazy too. It's Riddler goes crazy, but he still already has this riddle thing, up as a part of him.
Exactly, and you even saw his face when Gordon answered his riddle in 2 seconds. He was like, how did you know?
Yes, exactly. Like, ooh, like, oh, but he also, that, and again, it was kind of fun. Like, even though they said his name, they didn't have to, and yeah. But anyway, let's start from the beginning because we have the kind of time on our hands. Let's start from the beginning. Do what we usually do. Start from the beginning of the show and work our way through it.
Gotcha.
I don't know why, but something in my head went Catwoman when we first see Selena Kyle, right, and she's kind of spying on the Waynes. All I can think of is she killed his parents. She killed his parents. Oh God, no! Please no. Don't tell me she killed his parents. I don't know why. Like, because again, we didn't really. I'll say this much. I know maybe you've seen extended trailers. I've seen a few here and there. We didn't. Did you see any trailers or anything involving the actual shot happening, or just the after? Of like Bruce.
Yeah, almost every trailer showed the shot.
Okay. Just, I don't know, something I just can't remember. So, it's for some reason in my head, it's just like, yep, Selena pulled the trigger. Selena helped pull the trigger. Selena stole his shit. And it's just, actually, Matt, Selena's there watching. All right, that's still pretty creepy, actually.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much every trailer, I will say, except for like one or two, did show the shot going off from the gunman, so.
Right. But, yeah, and by the way, speaking of that, since that's more of an, we're still going in order because it's kind of an overall thing, how do you feel about her kind of just being there?
It's funny you ask because my first reaction was hardcore fans are going to be so pissed at this. I don't know why, but it didn't really bother me too much. I mean, my first reaction apart from that was like, I don't think she was there, but okay. It's not like the end of the world for me. It's not like I will never watch this show again. It didn't really do anything. It was like, okay, I mean, if they want to put her there, it's not really going to hurt anybody, so.
I mean, yeah, no, it wouldn't hurt, but like as I mentioned before, right, there are people who go in and out of your life, but the problem is, like, something like this, kind of makes it a bit too real, where it's just like, and then Selena Kyle went away, and then she became Catwoman. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and then Batman appears, and it's just like, whoa, who are you? I don't know. Well, I was following this Wayne guy who had his parents killed, and that was some pretty crazy shit. He also fell into a thing with all these bats in it, but that probably wouldn't be you, right? No. What about you? I saw some chick once, and she was very agile, like a cat. Oh, I wouldn't know. Batman's voice is killing me.
Okay.
But seriously though, I don't know how Belle did it. But seriously though, it's just, it's a bit too much, where it's just like, it's like when they leave each other's lives, crazy shit has to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, I know Bruce is going to get training and things like that, but still, like, I don't know, it still feels like a thing where it's like, even if Bruce forgets, it feels like Selena will always remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a kind of a huge problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so Selena Kyle did not kill Bruce Wayne's parents, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Selena Kyle is working with, as far as we know, right? She's just like, oh no, this poor boy that I'm stalking. Remember, kids, stalk your victims. Anyway, but oh, by the way, how did you feel about the death scene? The actual, like, the gunshot going off and everything.
I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was pretty well done.
I thought it was too long.
I'm sorry?
I thought it was way too long.
Really?
Here's the thing, too, by the way. Something about the death, and I know, I've seen many different versions, and of course you have too. Something about the death seems very, like, I'm panicked because, like, I'm mugging you guys, and, like, cops exist, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta mug you guys. Well, I mean, it's okay. You moved! Where in this case it was like, hey, listen, we're being completely nice here. So if you were to kill us, the audience would know that we have done nothing in any way that would make us feel like we should be killed. We just want to let the audience know, oh my God, I got shot!
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was very long to me, where it just felt like, and then the murderer was just, whoever he may be. Well, we don't know. Whoever the murderer may be, whoever Batman's parents' secret murderer, it felt like he was very, it's funny, it felt like he was very cold. And I understand that. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that, but it really came out that way. And I understand that, I guess, where it's like, oh well, see, he's being cold. Yeah, but still, I'm not saying he should have like ran away or been like, sorry, kid. Like, obviously he didn't give a shit. But at the same time, there should have been like, it just felt very weird that it was just like, like, I'm gonna mug you. It's fine. Everything's fine here. And then without a word, just boom, boom. I don't know. It felt like it was. If it did happen, then it should have been a lot quicker. I felt like it just took a little bit too long for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've seen it so many times. Maybe because it usually doesn't focus on it a lot. Even in the comics, usually it isn't like just a lot of focus on it. Unless, of course, Batman is stopping it, which has happened before. Batman stopped his own parents from dying, and he ended up being erased from existence. Look it up, everyone.
What?
Superman, Batman, absolute power. Look it up. It actually happened.
Oh, God, why are you recommending
Legitimately. I'm recommending it because Uncle Sam fights for our freedom. Now, why is that not something to recommend? Uncle Sam uses Green Lantern's powers to fight for our freedom. Honestly, I'm wondering when that's going to get adapted into the DC live, TV universe.
Oh, God. But I will say the one thing about the death scene, it may just be me, I was not expecting it that early into the show.
That, I'll tell you that much. Fair enough.
I really thought, I figured it was going to be in the first episode, but I thought at least a half hour, and I didn't expect it in like the first 5 minutes.
Yes, this episode, I think, was paced very well. I think if anyone thinks this is really slow, I don't know what they're expecting so much, because I honestly would rather have this than, and then the Riddler became evil, and it's like, but Bruce is not even, Bruce is still just a,
His parents haven't even been killed yet, guys.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I want a lot of, I will admit there were a lot of talking scenes, obviously, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm a fan of kind of building up this world, building up these characters, because, we really don't know Gordon before he became Gordon. I mean, what's nice about him is he is always Gordon, but at the same time, it's like now you get to see him bust this crime ring, which is intelligent, because when he busts the ring, why do you think he's going to get a promotion? To the commissioner. It's because he does crap like this. So it's very smart to kind of work that in there. There are a lot of smart things about this episode, and a lot of things in this episode that, other than Alfred, which again, it's a different version of Alfred, so I can't even say the person didn't do research. They just picked the one that they liked. But for many of them, it really felt like it wasn't just someone going, oh, I'm looking up summaries of characters. And even if they did, they looked up a lot of summaries.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, even if they did, they're just like, oh, I never read a comic book in my life. I've never even watched Batman. I've never watched anything involving Batman. Well, guess what, writer? You're very good at researching and creating these characters, because a lot of these characters, I thought, they would actually do this thing that they're currently doing. And it was perfect. Even with Falcone, where we were like, oh, his age is off. Still, he's hit what he said, perfection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, even, and you know what it is, too, I think, maybe with Alfred, maybe it's just the director, because whoever directed him, felt like it was just like, play up the fact that you're British and be a brute about it. And it's like, really? Alfred a brute? Yeah. I mean, again, just different version, because there are versions of Alfred who, in his younger years, was a bit of a brute in terms of, you look at something like Beware the Batman, which is a bit different, but again, takes some roots from some older stuff, a little bit here and there. And you can see that version of Alfred, Well,
yeah, that version was heavily inspired from My Earth One.
Exactly. But anywho, so what is it? We move on to Bullock, because Bullock appears, and it's funny because again, I don't know too much. I didn't look a lot into the the casting so much. I just saw what was on bulletin boards and stuff like that. Around. I mean, even on buses and stuff. If you're in New York, you'll realize this is very heavily promoted here.
It was mostly filmed here.
What?
It was mostly filmed here.
Right, of course. So, that would make sense. But, so anyway, so Bullock, I don't know, I feel like he's going to become heavier later, obviously, in his years and whatever. And I will admit, I do like the actor who played Bullock. I love him from, Grounded for Life and Blade. He was also, and when he had the whole outfit on, I was like, damn, that's Bullock.
Yeah.
But just something about him just looks a bit too young, which is weird because again, you made Bruce 10 years old, so you kind of upped his age. So it's like there are certain people that it just looks weird, where it's just one day you will become very, very heavy. You know, and I don't know, maybe, and it's weird. Maybe for them, this is, you know, the TV. It's just like, oh, but he is heavy. It's like, I did not see a stomach. You know, he was mostly covered in clothes. He looked very fit.
He had to move pretty damn fast to beat Gordon and the Killer out of that, like, 3-house chase sequence.
Exactly. So, yeah, you know, I mean, so, yeah, him, but again, his age is obviously just fine. Because, you know, I mean, they're cops. I don't expect them to be really, really young. I mean, I understand that. I mean, you look at Gordon, you know, he's also got to be a bit older by the time Batman comes on the scene.
Mm.
Now, Riddler is an issue, because I mentioned a bit before. And you're fine with Riddler. I just feel like he better be 18 because, and even then it's a bit off, but still, he better be 18 because, you know, I was doing my math when Bruce should have been 8. Because if Bruce was 8, you know, and then Riddler is 18, it's like that's still a 10-year gap. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, now it might be an 8-year gap, but I still think that it's like Riddler, Edward Nygma, 23 years old, and it's like that is a 13-year gap. Mm-hmm. You know, the Riddler was never meant to be a fighter, but at the same time, I want them all, you know, I want Batman and I want Riddler, you know, I want them to have, you know, long fictional hypothetical careers in this universe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be like I became a criminal today. 3 months later, I'm getting too old for this shit.
I mean, the main reason I'm okay with the Riddler's age is because if you played games like the Arkham games or even certain comics, they've had him as the Riddler in his, like, I think 50s or so, or 40s, somewhere around there.
Fair enough.
I'm okay with him being an older Riddler as long as, like you said, he's not, like, agile as all hell.
Yes. Now, Cobblepot is great. I do think he's a bit too young, but I still think that he looks like everything about the actor and the character is done very well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and that's why when you look at someone like Cobblepot, you can really see that, you know, this writer definitely read something like, Joker's Asylum, where they had a Penguin issue. Because Joker's Asylum, if you haven't read it, which actually will be put up on our merchandise page on our website, thoseguysanradio.tumblr.com, later on tonight if you want to purchase it through Amazon. If it can still be purchased through Amazon, because it's been out of print a little bit, but we'll find out just a bit later. But anyway. So the point is that in Joker's Asylum, they have different issues on different villains. And one of them was Penguin. And when he went back and talked about his life and detailed his life, it really felt like this was the same person.
Absolutely.
Which is nice because, you know, it's like, oh, we have to look at Penguin's younger years. Crap, what do I have to read? If he hasn't read it already, or she, the writer, hasn't read it already. So it's very nice stuff, very, very nice stuff. And, you know, it was just such a nice situation where it's just, hey, take the bat, Cobblepot. And I squeed. I admit it, I squeed. You know, and then he starts hitting him, and he just has this joy about it. This joy because all his life he's been bullied, and it's kind of you know interesting that it's just all his life he's been bullied, and you know, and now he gets the chance to deliver it back, and he will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I mean, I do think he could have been a bit older, but obviously, you know, I mean he's not that young either, but again, it's very pretty men on this show, you know? Very
Definitely. Pretty
young men here. And it's like, okay, I'll accept it, I guess.
We don't think we have a choice anymore, but okay.
Yeah, right, like, I would rather not have pretty young men on this show. But, by the way, I have to say how much I love Gordon, because I do. You know, they're in the burlesque club, and Gordon just cannot stop being Gordon.
I know.
You know, where it's just, what's going on back there? They're watching a scary movie. Oh, could I go check it out? It was just like, really? Like, do you understand what blackmail is? Do you understand? It was really funny.
Yeah.
You know, it felt so Commissioner Gordon.
And one of the things, like, it's a subtle thing. It really is, but the way he gave looks to everybody, like he was just analyzing them from the inside out whenever he looked at them. I thought the actor was just spot on for Gordon. Yes,
I mean, he did a very good job playing a young Gordon. it was wonderful. Like I really enjoyed his performance as Gordon because it really felt like young Gordon. Like it didn't, like in no way it felt like, oh yeah, this guy's just trying to be the character from the comic. No, it felt like he was him.
Mhm.
A lot of the characters felt that way, and I think that's what's great about a show like this, where, it really feels like, for some of them, right, they've just embodied the version of the characters that you know and that you've known for a while. And if they don't, then you have to sit there and go, damn it, which version is it? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. But also, I laughed a lot when this happened. I didn't mention this before, but when you mentioned Gordon's girlfriend, I just chuckled in my head because it was just really funny how, again, everyone is, like you mentioned, everyone's getting Easter eggs, right? Everyone. Where it's just like, stop making riddles. Hey, penguin, I don't like that name. Someone being agile as a cat and feeding cat. Like everyone's getting something. My name is Ivy. Right? Everyone's getting something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I laugh, and just Gordon's girlfriend's just like, I'll be the future Mrs. Gordon. And I'm like, oh, that's her. That's Gordon's wife. Oh, my God. She makes Batgirl. Whoa. She makes Batgirl and a serial killer. That's from her womb. Whoa. It was really funny. Where it's just again, everyone needs a name drop.
Oh, absolutely.
Where, I'm waiting for someone to just be like, Gordon, just like, hey, I'm sorry, accidentally elbow someone. Hey, I'm sorry. Just the guy waves. I'm from Detective Comics number 44, and then walks away. I'm just waiting for, just boom. Oh, I'm sorry. That's fine. I was in an annual back in 1943. Come on, get back here. I'm waiting for just everyone to just get name drops.
And while we're on the topic of Easter eggs, there's one that I didn't see that I really wish would have been done. I can kind of get why they didn't. But when they were in the, to jump forward a bit, when they had Bullock and Gordon upside down, the meat locker room or whatever.
Professor Pig.
And I'm sorry?
Professor Pig.
Well, okay, that's a good one. But when they were calling him the Executioner, I forgot his name.
Right.
I was honestly hoping to hear them say Waylon or Waylon Jones or something for a Killer Croc thing, before he became Croc.
Honestly, it could still. What's great is that the person had a Executioner thing on. I wondered what was really weird was they called one guy Butcher, or Butch, whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, could he become? Because it was like, oh, you always take people here, when you have a problem. And I was just like, is that Professor Pig?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, I wonder if the Executioner is Professor Pig, but someone who's really bad, by the way, said we can't have him come out in a pig mask. Come on, no, we can't. Come on.
We can make it scary. Make it an Iron Pig mask. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, right.
This is a comic book-based TV show. God damn it.
Yeah, no, it's just. I don't know, because it's weird, because it felt very much and it would work very well, I feel, because it could just be his younger years, where it's just this, not young, but let's think, Professor Pig is someone who I can see as a serial killer who's been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, what is it? This Professor Pig, Toyman, obviously, although he's technically wrapped up with Arrow, but still, Toyman, who else? There's just a few people that I can just go, thank you, Ventriloquist. There's just a few people that I'm just like, you're weird, man. You, Zaz.
Oh, God.
There's just a few where it's just I can sit there and just be, which, by the way, I thought I saw someone who looked like Zaz.
I thought so, too, actually.
Okay, cool. In the beginning, when we first saw Gordon and we were looking inside the what is it? The tank is, I guess, that's what you call it. And yeah, and you saw a bunch of people just in there. There was just one guy, and I was just like, Zaz?
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing.
I didn't see anything on him though. He didn't have any which is great. Where it's just it's hey. He's like, I need my pills. I need my pills. Hey, it's just fine. You don't understand. My name is Mr. Bane. I need my pills. It's okay.
What's great is I think that was supposed to be a year one Easter egg, actually. Have you read year one?
Yes, but it's been a very long time.
Okay. I don't know if you remember the scene. There was a part where this guy had a hostage or something, and Gordon went down to the scene and he had to go into the building, so he went in supposedly unarmed, and the guy was a paranoid schizophrenic, and he said, I need my pills.
Right.
Yeah, that scene, I'm like, is this supposed to be a year one Easter egg? Because if it is, it's pretty damn cool.
Oh, yeah, very cool. That's good to know. But anyway, so that actually is really cool. Like, I like, little things like that because, again, it shows that they care.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me, I think one of the best things they could really do, if they want to focus on something like this, where it's like, oh, in this, the present, like, quote-unquote, their present, whatever. They want to focus on that for a bit. That's fine, like a season or two, sure. I mean, the seasons are going to be, 22 episodes long or 24? Or
I
I
don't think they've actually said yet.
Oh, that's very interesting. It might just be 12. That would be interesting. That would be nice. That would be the perfect, but sadly it never happens that way.
I mean, considering every season is supposed to be villain-themed, like the villain of this season is Penguin, I think 12 is a pretty good number.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought we were looking for Batman's killer.
I guess that's the main plot, but the underlining thing is there will be one big bad per season.
Right. That's interesting. I think it's a little weird because it's just like, one day Penguin will be a villain. It's like, but he's becoming a villain now. One day! But, no, I think it would be very interesting if they just did 2 seasons like this, in this area, maybe certain filler episodes, or if you want to do the idea of this season being all about, Batman's parents' killer, and whoever he may be, and then we go to the second season, which could be a little bit of a time jump, but doesn't have to be. It can just be its own little thing, or it's just, hey, look, Gordon is solving mysteries, and there's younger versions of your villains. Be fucking happy that we're doing this. And I'd be like, yes, sir. Right?
Also, I must interrupt you very quickly.
Yes.
Season 1 of Gotham is going to have 16 episodes total.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And then Season 3, right, would be year 1. Or whatever season they decide to end it on would be year 1. Which I think that's very nice because you can say right there, hey, if you like, it's kind of a situation where it's like, do we want to continue this show? No. Okay, cool. So we're done here. Do we continue as and spin it off into an actual Batman TV show? It's like, well, do we want to spin it off into a Batman TV show? Yes. Okay, cool. So here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think they can do a lot with it if they really wanted to. And I think ending it on year 1 would be such a great thing, not just for, the fans, but just for people being able to see, like, hey, look, you saw him as a kid. Now we're jumping to, a bit to the present day. Bruce has been away for a while, so, him and Selina, depending on how close they get here, they don't have to really know each other that well when they get older. Yeah. I mean, Bruce doesn't have Facebook, so it's not just like they're going to be like, it's like, I'll text you from overseas, So long as it doesn't get to that level, I think it'll be pretty nice. But, yeah. So, yeah, just, hey, future Mrs. Gordon, that's her! But, so you probably know this, because obviously I'm sure you saw some of the spoilers or whatever. Did not think that Gordon would be implicated in anything.
Neither did I, actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that was very new to me. I was just like, did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I like it, though.
Oh, yes. Also, I just love that Penguin, again, just being so Penguin-like, where it's just, why are you doing this? Well, I'm doing this to be a good person. You want them out of the picture so you can rule. Just doing my job as a citizen.
That poor orphan boy piqued my conscience. You just want her out of the picture. That's besides the point.
Yeah, it was just great. It was just like, you son of a bitch. Like, again, there were a lot of things in this show that made me go, wow, this character.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't just hear, Penguin rules the city and he owns an iceberg lounge, Oh, and he's a fucking, like, Penguin-themed guy. And they were just like, all right, I'll do what I can. And, hey, if that is it, then damn, you're good. DC needs you. DC Comics needs you, sir or madam who wrote this episode. Because, damn it, they need you. But, yes. So, come on, now that we're here, tell me. Just have the guts to tell me that that's not the Joker. Tell me. So I have the guts to tell me that the guy who is the comedian, who is telling the fucking jokes on the fucking stage,
Matt?
It's not the other guy who tells jokes.
Matt?
God.
It's not the Joker.
I hate you. Mind you, actually, I'm really happy.
Yeah, but yeah, it has been confirmed that it's not the Joker.
Good, good. Now, you say confirmed as in the creators of the show, right? What did they say again?
Basically, they said he's way too big to have in the show this early on at all. We're going to make it look like a lot of different background people could be him, but in the end, it may or may not be revealed who he is, provided we decide to tackle him at all. So basically, they said, they actually referenced this guy in particular. They said in the first episode of the series, there's a guy auditioning to be Fish Mooney's comedian at her nightclub. Just because he's a comedian doesn't make him Joker. It could be an Easter egg. It's up to you to decide that. But come at the end of the show, we may or may not reveal him at all.
Right. I hope it's not Joker, for the obvious reason that it's like, again, okay, the idea that from afar he looks very young. But then you got close, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, he looked a bit older, you know? And then, two, the fact that, damn it, he was funny, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I will admit, it was a twisted sense of humor, which was terrible. I was like that joke was great, where it's just, I wanted to die like my father, you know, in his sleep. You know, not like his passengers screaming. And I was like, damn it.
Yeah. I
was just like, and it's funny, because again, it's like sick and twisted sense of humor. That is the Joker. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know, like, hey, maybe it's just me, but, like, I'm the kind of person who feels like, you know, Joker tells jokes that, while being sick and twisted, right, are just, like, you know, many people don't find funny.
Exactly.
You know, where, like, you know, like, and mind you, I think sick and twisted Joker more so after the everything, where, like, the first time, like, I don't know, like, I feel like if it's like, oh, the Joker's telling a joke, right? So he's going to tell a joke on stage, like, before he's the Joker, when he is, I can't believe I forgot his name, but it's okay, because maybe he doesn't even have a name. Maybe that's just his memories, thinking that he had memories. Anyway.
Oh.
But what was his actual name again?
Jack Napier.
Thank you. That is quote-unquote his name. But anyway, so, you know, the idea that, like, he gets on stage and he goes, so let me tell you something about my mother-in-law. Boo! No, it's really good. I mean, you know, my wife, you know, the things that she does to me, boo, get the hell off the stage. Right? That's how I see him. Right? I just see him as a very unsuccessful, always getting pulled by the, you know, by the cane, you know? Just like, just exit, stage left. I always see him being that guy. Where just, you know, and that's why I was just, you know, again, because if he was a successful comedian, then why the hell did he need the money?
Exactly.
You know? So that's why your text actually confused me. You were saying, oh, he's too big. I'm like, he's too big as a comedian? That's even worse. He's a shit comedian.
I meant, like, too big as a character.
Right. Of course, yes. Which is so accurate, because he's so big of a character that you wouldn't really throw him out here. And if you would, I would have made him a bit younger, where it's just the idea that it's just, are you even old enough to be in here? If they did that, I'd be like, damn it, that's him. Because, again, it just feels really weird. You know, it's a weird situation where, like, I'm wondering if this show is trying to be the writer's way of saying, listen, Batman is really young. That's why he's so fucking agile and able to catch everyone. They're all, like, you know, by the time Batman becomes Batman, everyone has arthritis. I think we're okay here. I think Gotham is safe.
Pretty much.
You know? Yeah. But seriously, though, I mean, I will admit, though, I have to be honest, that guy as Joker, if you told me that guy was going to be the next Joker in a movie, I'd fund it.
Yeah.
He had the best build, you know, again, his humor was kind of nice, and his facial expressions were just like, ooh, like I don't want to be a part of this crap.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is, because he is supposed to be unsuccessful comedian, is maybe he does get hired by Fish Mooney, let's just say. And as time progresses, he just runs out of material, and then he starts to become a wash-up. He can't perform. He's unsuccessful. That's the one way I can see them pulling that, if he is the Joker, but we don't know.
Right. Yeah, I just hope he isn't, because, again, I'm going to be that guy tonight. I am. I'm going to be that guy for, you know, until Gotham's over. Just the age. You know, because when you look at him, like, at first I was like, oh, could we pull the whole, like, you just walk out of college, you know, you just walk out of high school, you know? But then you really get close to him, and you're like, he's 23, 25.
Easily.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and, you know, and you say, and again, to some people it's like, oh, just add on 15 years to him. That is a lot of time to add on to someone. So when Batman is like, I'm Batman, and he's 25, let's say. That's when he first starts out, let's pretend, 25. Joker if he's 25 right now, he's going to be 40
Exactly.
That's a while, you know, especially to say that they had adventures, even just for a few years. Joker's 40. Like, that's when, you know, it's like, okay, we kill off a character, and then we kill off a whole universe, and then we make sure to, like, de-age them by, like, 5 years. That's what you do to start off your characters when they're 40. It's just like, ooh. And you know, and it's weird because it's like, again, I know that they're probably not making Gotham to ever think that they're ever going to tie it in with the actual universe, obviously. But you do have to put it in mind just a bit. You know, just a bit. And also, I have to be honest, while I love all these Easter eggs and these characters, I would have just been fine with the adventures of Jim Gordon.
Exactly.
So I think it's a bit too much, honestly.
Mhm.
You know, where, I mean, again, the writer knows what he's doing. But I feel like it's just, you know, the idea was made by an executive, where maybe one person said, hey, Jim Gordon would be a really cool character to touch on. And it's like, but we have all of Gotham to use. Technically only Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne. No, we have all of Gotham. You know? Like, I don't know, for me, I would have touched on, like, you know, I'm probably crazy. I would have touched, you know, and I probably lost people a lot of money. But I would have touched upon Batman, you know, the whole Bruce Wayne and his parents dying in season 2.
Mhm.
Like, I would have had a huge build-up where it's just, you know, Jim Gordon, super cop. Jim Gordon, super cop. But what happens when he finds a case he can't crack? Jim Gordon in Dead Boy's Parents. You know, I don't know. I would have preferred that.
Mhm.
That's a very bad trailer, but I would have preferred that. Oh, well.
I mean,
but hey, I mean, it sounds like I'm bitching and moaning, but honestly, I really did enjoy this episode. Because, again, like I said, the content and the characters, the way they were done, and, you know, the story itself, I'm a fan. You know, I'm hooked. I'm wondering if they're going to fail us, but I'm pretty hooked right now.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well. But, yes. But
now, let me ask you a quick question.
Right.
Because I know I ask you this with every show that we watch superhero-wise. How many seasons would you like to see this go for?
Ooh, I really think 3.
Mhm.
Because I think it's just the idea that, you know, like, first off, these people are actual people.
Mhm.
Now, that's a weird sentence, right? But this isn't an animated show where, worst case scenario, maybe you replace a voice actor because he got older. But even then, you would probably use a female to be young Bruce Wayne.
Mhm.
That can happen. These people are going to get older. They need to strike while the iron's hot. And if they're smart, you know, like I said, or if they're as smart as they can be, whatever, you do time skips a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's the huge problem with something like The Walking Dead, where they were just like, the time skip is the summer. Yeah, well, Carl's 38 now. So that was a pretty long summer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So when you have someone like Bruce Wayne, who I know the actor is a bit older, I'm sure, trying to look like he's playing the 10-year-old.
He's actually 12 years old.
Oh, that's the worst age.
I know.
Oh, that was a problem. They really should have gone for 8. Yeah, that's a problem. Because by the time they start filming next season, he's going to be 13, 14.
Yeah.
Has it already been greenlit?
For the season 2?
Yes.
Not yet, I don't believe.
Which is very upsetting, because I will admit, this show does deserve more than one season.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it would be nice where it's just like, oh, it's only one season, because then we're going on to an actual Batman TV show. Yay! Mm-hmm. But no, it'll probably just be this for 3 seasons. But again, still, I feel like if they really try hard, which is like, all right, people are getting older. You know, you just go, hey, you know, actor who plays Jim Gordon, could you grow out a mustache, right? And you know, it's like, hey there, man. You know, something like that. Or just grow a little facial hair for year 1. How about you do that? I mean, I think it would be interesting. Again, I really feel like there is a lot they can do with this show.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, there's so much untapped potential.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, I hope that they do as much as they can. And it would be really nice if they can somehow find a weird way of connecting this to Arrow and Flash. They obviously can't, I'm sure, because different networks.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's still DC owned. So I feel like it's in a weird place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different networks, though, it's like the big issue. And, of course, before you even say, but there's different time periods, shut the hell up, obviously, right? People listening. Shut up, my fans. But, shut up, my fan. But anyway, but the point is this. The point is that even though they're in different times, still, this is a really weird thing to reference. In recent Deadpool comics, they were doing a lot of stuff where they pretended like Deadpool's been around since the 70s.
Oh, God.
Which is really funny, by the way. And then they would introduce things there that would appear in the present day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a cool thing would be, let's say, the ability to use characters that have already been in Arrow, because, shared universe, or in Flash, shared universe, and kind of show their origins in a weird way, where it's like, so-and-so comes to town. Oh, dear God, so-and-so just came to town.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be interesting.
Definitely.
Yes. And before we go, we've confirmed, as of right now anyway, there are no comic book tie-ins for this show.
As of now, there have not been any, but I would not be surprised if there are, because there's already been one confirmed for The Flash, and there's one for Arrow. So. And
you saw the Arrow one. Are they just rehashes of the episode, or are they actual plot?
I haven't read all of them. I know a very good amount of them are just rehashes of the episode, but I think there's maybe one or two that kind of served as this happened in between so-and-so.
Very nice. That's cool. I think I would just go out and buy those issues, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
miss very
much of the regular issues.
Right, of course. But anyway, we would like to thank you guys for listening to Those Guys. Sadly, we are at the end of our show. But again, we would like to thank you guys for listening in. Also remember that, as I mentioned before, we have a website, thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com. You go on there. You're able to see some of our merchandise if you want. We have some Batman merchandise right now. We're constantly updating all of our superhero stuff, but we also have WWE stuff for the new video game, WWE 2K15, coming out that you can pre-order through us, through Amazon. Same thing with Super Smash Brothers, with the new 3DS game and the Wii U version. Same thing with the new Pokemon game. Pokemon, Alpha. Wow. My brain is going numb. It's Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Because the thing is, in America, we just always flip those around. It's like the Alpha and the Omega. It's like, nope, the Omega and the Alpha. What? But anyway, yes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which you can also, again, pre-order through us, through Amazon. And, again, Batman comics as well that we'll be updating. You can go on thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com. Also, we are ourselves a Gmail, thoseguysontheradio@gmail.com. What can you do on that Gmail? You can email us any kind of advertising opportunities. We would love to promote you on our show. Any of your legal items and your legal companies. Legal is the key word. Also, you can send us show ideas. If you think, maybe it would be cool if you guys did this kind of show, which you can also do through our website via Suggest Show Ideas tab. Also, we are ourselves at Facebook, Those Guys on the Radio, or you can search up Those Guys on Facebook, and you can like our page for any kind of updates on different and new shows coming out. Of course, we do WWE shows as well. We do Dragon Ball Z shows, Bleach, obviously this show, and other kind of shows where, sometimes Anthony and I do something called This Week in Comics, where we'll talk about certain comics during the week. Usually we do that. If we don't, next week we end up making it up with double the comics, double the hours. And of course the Twitter as well, Those Guys Radio, where not only do we post new episodes, but funny cat pictures. Because why not? Now, Anthony, I would like you, before we go, I'd like you to tell everyone what you do with figures. That's a really awkward sentence, but when he explains it, it'll make sense, and you might want to give him money. That's also a weird sentence. He doesn't know how to answer. I don't know what I do with them.
Let's just put it on the front street. I don't do anything odd with them.
Yes, right. Just
customize them, and I can also kit bash them. Essentially,
what that means. Explain kit bashing. Yes.
Yeah, essentially that's like, let's say you want a Superman of the Godfall costume, for example, and there's no good base figure for that. Rather, there's a bunch of different ones that can be taken apart, put back together in your certain combination, and then painted and so, sculpted, whatever. That's basically what kit bashing is. So say you need this torso, this arm, this leg, this head. I can take the figures, take them apart, put them back together with the right pieces, and then paint it up so it's picture perfect for you.
And where do you post the pictures of some of your work?
This can be found on my Instagram, which is Geek4Life blog, the number 4.
Yes, so it's Geek, the number 4, Life Blog, which is your Instagram, where people can also PM you about prices based on the work that they've seen or based on what they want to present to you.
Exactly. Give me any ideas. I'll see what we can do.
Right, and there's that, and then also you have a blog spot where you actually show off some of the new figures that you've acquired, sometimes even before they're supposed to be out. I remember one of your videos, Amazon sent one to you early.
Yes. It was actually pretty cool. Basically what I do on there is I review them. Sometimes I'll give like a breakdown of what you should expect with it, what you shouldn't. I'll also review comic books. Mainly I'll post our podcast on there. I also do comic book TV shows, movie reviews, pretty much anything pop culture related.
Right, and with those reviews, normally they are written, like articles and things like that, unless they're the figures.
Back and forth. Mainly the ones I'll do videos of would be like Transformers, because it's a bit hard to write about those.
Understandably so. All right. So, and what's that blog called for again? What is that blog called again? The one where you review all these figures and many other things.
It's called Geek for Life, but the web address is figuresandgeeks.blogspot.com.
So you got figuresandgeeks.blogspot.com for your YouTube reviews and some of your written reviews on movies and figures and things like that. And then Geeks, the number 4, Life blog is your Instagram, where you end up putting pictures of some of the new figures that you've made yourself based on other, bases from other figures.
Exactly.
And, of course, people can PM you on that Instagram, Geeks, the number 4, Life blog, where they can send prices to you about, what they want done. Which, again, this man can do anything. But really look him up. He can do a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and, of course, we love having you on. We always love having you on. And, sadly, we love having you guys listening in, but we're going to have to end it.